Here we introduce the pattern making methods for bead embroidery and sequin. Embroidery. First of all, before we start pattern making, we need to first understand the corresponding device of the machine, its type and the specification. Here we can make a general reference. Suppose this machine is equipped with this device. It has the following types. Then we need to base on the specifications of each of its beads, the dimensions of the type, to set the corresponding parameters. This is for demonstration purposes only. Let's take this picture as an example. Here are long tube beads, bubble beads, and small beads, and also sequins A and B. Then we'll work based on this picture to set the corresponding parameters. First, we need to find the sequin configuration button. Open it. First, set up sequin A. The dimension is 3 millimeters. And then this color. We can choose a coffee color. Next, configure sequin B. For sequin B, set its color to this shade of red. Then set the dimension to 5 millimeters. Next, configure bead A. Bead A is a small bead. The size of the small bead is 2.8 millimeters. Then set the height to 2.3 millimeters. You can choose this color. Bead B is a bigger bead. Choose this color for the bugle beads. Then its size is 2 millimeters. The height is 4 millimeters. Next, configure bead C. Bead C is a bubble bead. Choose this color for the bubble beads. Its size is 4 millimeters. The height is 4 millimeters. Once the setup is complete, we click OK. Next, I will demonstrate how to make it. First, we will make the sequin part before making the sequence. First, we set the corresponding properties. Set the spacing here to 3.5 millimeters. SLEC02 for the fixed line type. Next, we can use this sequin to run automatically. Check sequin AB in the drop-down list here. Then we can start. First, I will finish all the parts of sequin AB. This left-click linear point selection. Right-click to turn. Press Enter to confirm the input object. Okay, after you finish inputting the sequence, next we need to input the beads. Switch to the signal of bead A. At this point, we need to make a change. Some parameters in the property panel. For example, set the spacing here to 3 millimeters. Also, check the parameters of the beads. This part is crucial. Let me demonstrate the effect of the incorrect bead parameters. Incorrect bead parameters. His needle drop point. It will press onto the beads. It will cause the beads to be damaged during the embroidery process. Problems of broken needles and thread breakage. So we need to adjust this. Check the several parameters of the beads. Now I will re-input according to these parameters. Then the stitch is correct now. There is one more detail to note. We are working on the parameters of this connector. Lock stitch needs to be turned off here. Do not enable lock stitch because the final lock stitch of bead embroidery and sequin embroidery. That is all done by manual lock stitching. So the automatic lock stitch. Do not turn it on. Okay, I will input the beads next. Switch the signal to bead here. Then it changes accordingly here. After bead A is completed, then we proceed to input bead B. The parameter of bead B is spacing. Set this to 5 millimeters here. Switch to bead B and proceed to input. Continue inputting. Okay. After bead B is finished, then we proceed to work on bead C. Switch the bubble bead setting to bead C. The size of the bubble bead is also 5 millimeters. No changes are needed here. Here, we extend it a little bit appropriately. Continue inputting. Okay, after the beads and the sequence have all been input, the current order is messed up. Then we will proceed to a demonstration next. How to straighten out the order correctly. Continuous embroidery. No thread cutting. I'll go back to the home first. Press the home key on the keyboard. Go back to the first stitch. Arrange its order by means of cutting and pasting. First, I cut this part. There is one detail to note. When we are doing bubble bead embroidery and sequin embroidery, the sequin switch should be turned on. Keep it turned on. At this time, before this, insert a round stitch for connection. Then, continue to insert round stitches. Cut and paste. Paste a Continue to insert round stitches. Cut and paste. Paste a Repeat this action continuously. Connect the nearby bead objects in series with running stitches. Repeat this operation continuously. Okay, now all the bead and the sequin objects are connected in series. Finally, at the end of the process, manually insert a section of lock stitches. This is to prevent the embroidery thread from coming loose. So much for the demonstration of bead and sequin making.